And that happened a lot in the US market, right? We have a lot of cases of founders that didn't manage to transition through those different stages, right, of leadership.
Although bringing in a new CEO also is a challenge potentially as well. Like, it has its own risks.
Especially if a company was founded by one person, like in your case, right? It's, of course, you try to not be a problem for the company, but in a way, part of the culture is also about you, right?
Yes.
It surrounds yourself. So bringing a person from outside it's always challenging.
Can be. Yep.
So then, that part of your journey, tell us a little bit more what the challenges were. Now that you were developing your own solution, you just mentioned you had to have this kind of visionary approach, where the market is going, because of course, if you're developing something, it's not going to be ready. It's not like microwave something. It's not going to be ready in 30 seconds. It takes time. How was that approach? How can you, up to this point, still know what's coming?
So we started the company focused on doing power management, actually, which is how we first met at the time. And so the company was helping organizations manage power consumption of their PCs, desktops, and servers. But I always had this vision that what I wanted to do was to create a cloud-native IT management platform. So think of a LAN desk type product, Ivanti LAN desk type product, but being kind of cloud-native. And so we started with power management because that built the foundation for us. And then we evolved into endpoint management. Soon after that, I saw the opportunity as well to evolve beyond endpoint management into security. Obviously, with ransomware, all the data theft that's occurring, security requirements. What I was seeing was that you kind of had two different silos. You had the IT department that was responsible for managing all the IT operations, and then you had the security team that's responsible for looking for vulnerabilities, and you ended up with these.
They don't like each other.
They don't like it, exactly. And you have kind of one group saying, "Hey, you've got a problem," and another group who's responsible for fixing that problem. But the two groups don't particularly work well together. And so what occurred to me was, well, doesn't it make sense to unify the endpoint management and the security technologies into a single tool, single technology? Yes, they need to operate a little differently depending on who's using it, but allow the security team to run their security audits, identify the security challenges, but then be able to leverage management technology to fix those problems. And ultimately help the organization be more secure. So that's what we've done. We've kind of evolved from kind of power management to unified endpoint management, now to what we call unified endpoint security, where we're not just finding security issues, we're fixing them.
You mentioned on another interview that the number of tools that the company, there is a correlation, right?
Yeah.
The number of tools and the risks.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually did commission some research with Enterprise Strategy Group last year, and we did an analysis of the number of tools that organizations were using. And what we found in that research was there was a correlation between the number of tools and the number of breaches the organization has experienced. And what we found was interesting because it showed that the more tools that organizations were using for managing and securing the endpoints, the more breaches they've experienced.